That which was from the beginning, which we've heard, which we've seen with our eyes, which we have looked upon, and our hands have handled of the word of life. Word Out, a young people's church of the Men of Issachar Vision Incorporated, brings you God's word. Be blessed as you listen.
Is not being rushed because it's not about head knowledge. It's about it shifting to become our life. You see, one of the reasons why some of us find it difficult to remember some things we were taught at different levels of our formal education in schools is because there is a syllabus to complete within a stipulated time. And so the idea is just, let's try and know what I need to know that will help me to pass all the exams I have to pass. There was nothing to really put as part of our life. So we realized later on in life that there are things that actually we had been taught in school, but yet we still didn't really know. It's not showing forth in our life that we have been taught that thing. Simply because then the whole goal was to pass exam. And the good way they even help us with the syllabus, once you do an exam, bye-bye to that course forever. It's not going to come back again. And then you come across a course and say, that course is a prerequisite. So if you go back to the library, you see, if you really pass, you had that A or B you had, you don't need to go back to the library to go and refresh yourself about it. But if you go back to the library, it's a prerequisite, let me go and study it again. This thing is waiting for me here again. And you even hear lecturers telling you better know this thing now. This thing will wait for you in another course you will do in next 2 years' time. It will be waiting for you. Your lecturer is threatening you. When you come back to do masters, you say, we are not coming back to do masters. You tell him, we are not coming back. We are not coming back. If I'm coming back, I'm not going to do this course again. Because you know you don't know it. So, I've realized over time that the way we do examination is not the true test of knowledge. It's never the true test of knowledge. What we have is just something in our head, not in our heart. What changes your life and influences your life is what is in your heart. The psalmist says, thy word have I hidden in my heart, not in my head. The word in your head will not deliver you from sin. But it is a word in your heart. That's why people know memory verses. They quote scriptures, they do everything, but they still do what is wrong. Why? It is in their head. The scripture is clear, according to the psalmist, thy word have I hidden in my heart, that I will not sin against you. Why? For out of your heart flows out issues of life. So if you train the hand, if you train the head, without getting the training into the heart, it's still zero. After a while, whatever the head is doing will wear off. Because what determines your life course is what comes from your heart. Jesus said, out of the abundance of the heart. Do you get it? Life issues are determined from what is in your heart. So you must take time to learn what is interesting and what is needed for your life. Take time about it. You don't rush it. Because some people have been wondering that this series we should have stopped by now. This one is taking longer than the other one. Let's go to the next one. Is that another one? It's about you living it out. And that's a concern. And that's why we are taking time on this call. I want you to assimilate it. So don't just come and just say, we want to appear and be in church. And just, no. How much of these things are you integrating? What has changed in your life? What have you learned? What has improved? What new understanding do you have? What light has come to your life? What is changing? Is there a shift in your approach to life? So how do you discover your call? How do you discover your call? Number one, by encounters. Now, this is often the one many people are looking forward to. Encounters. You remember Paul, Acts chapter 9, on the way to Damascus. Do you remember? The Bible said, and as he was going, a light, shone on him. And he fell down from his was it horse or donkey? or chariot? Acts chapter 9. Let's check it. Where did he fall from? And the dark light shined around him. And he fell. Okay, it was not mentioned. Abi? He just fell. For whatever he was climbing. Whether it was Rolls Royce, or G-Wagon, or Swagon, whichever one it is, he shall fell. Okay, and he fell to the heart. Now, that was an encounter. And then he knew, oh, why did you kick against God? Why did you persecute me? Is that not so? I have called you, chosen you. He had an encounter to know his call. Now, oftentimes, many people are looking for encounters to determine their call. So people say, I'm still waiting for the day that you will sleep and you will not be able to sleep. And then as you are going to the restroom, you will see something in white and be, does these things happen? They happen. But oftentimes, they are not the default way God communicates our callings to us. In fact, supernatural things are often necessary when you can't pick it naturally. Spectacular activities are often necessary when you can't pick it normally. That's where you need it. When the psalmist said in Psalm 16, that even at night you instruct me, it's because during the day he's too busy. During the day he's fighting war, he's settling case, he's doing meeting. So he can't hear God. So God has to come to him when he's quiet. At least when you are sleeping, you are quiet. So he appears to you. You see, that's one of the things you have to watch. Some of you that the only way God communicates to you is through dreams. You have to check something about your lifestyle. Does God communicate through dreams? Yes. But also, if that is the only way, then something is wrong. You have to check something. That means you are not having time. So that means that's the only time God can come. That's the only time God can communicate to you. Because you are at rest. You are too busy to give him attention. You know, one of the reasons in those days, parents used to wake their children up, or husband wake their wife up, or wife wake their husband or in the middle of the night to talk to them, is because that's the only time they will listen. During the day, even though they are in front of you, they are not listening. Their mind is in many things. You know, so you are talking to the person is nodding head, but the mind is not there. Activity. So when you are looking for encounter, you don't understand. It doesn't naturally flow by encounters. Does it happen? Yes. Don't take it away. Some of you are read by men of God. In the middle of the night, 24 hours vision. See, you fed this thing, and you are expecting the same thing for your life. No. And the fact that those encounters doesn't mean you have a less calling. There is nothing called less calling. Your calling is not less. Tell somebody beside you, my calling is not less to your own. You are not sure. That's why you are not saying it true. Say it. My calling is not less. My calling is superb. Listen, your calling, what you are asked to do is not what determines the greatness of your call. It is determined by the person who called you. The greatness of your call is tied to what? The person who called you, not what you are asked to do. So if the person who called you, let me give you an example. The president appointed some people to be his official photographer. Are you aware that they went to do Thanksgiving? Is someone listening to me? The president appointed some people to be official photographer. They went to do Thanksgiving. They did reception for that appointment. Yeah, you are just thinking a photographer. No, it's not about photography. It's about the person who called you. It's Thanksgiving time. Pastor, God had your prayer. Somebody was taken from his house. His cook in his house was made official chief cook of the Aso Villa. Is it Thanksgiving? Oga, you're missing. So it's not only Oga Lokan, Okan Ogwa. Oluwa Ese o. You see, you are the one saying the person is a cook. Are you hearing me? It's not about what you are asked to do. It's about the person who called you. You are the one saying, what is he? Ordinary driver. Hey, you see, it's not ordinary driver. The person who called him has upgraded his life. So greatness is not in what you are asked to do. Is somebody hearing me? Greatness is about who called you to do it. That means the greatness of the call. So don't treat what you are asked to do with levity. So people try and do. So because I didn't have an encounter like somebody and somebody, you now think your own is less. No. It is not less. It's about who called you to do it. The same God who appeared to somebody in a 24 hours vision. The same God who appeared to Paul, on the way to Damascus when he was still Saul. That same God who only moved your heart to your calling without any encounter. You didn't see, you didn't hear. It's still the same God. So I will not say your own calling is less. Don't wait for encounters. Is somebody with me? Don't wait for encounters. But number one way God call people I know is encounters. Dramatic events. Dramatic events. Because you watch film, you see somebody as was going on the street. Somebody just calls, let me see you. As you were passing, I saw that God called you to be mighty. God called you, you will invent new engineering thing, invent everything. That's what some of you are waiting for. So when somebody just says on the road, you are expecting the person wants to tell you something God told him. And when the listener says, I want to ask for the road too, you will say, sister, can you stop me? Because we are looking for encounter. Listen, when people are desperate for such dramatic encounters, the devil appears to them. Don't be desperate for such kind of encounter. The devil take advantage of it very well. He sends his own message and his own people. And you know one thing about it when you start his message? The first line or the first few lines of his message will be something you yourself can confirm that is true. And then you fall in. You start believing everything. You see? I don't know if I have talked to you here before about familiar spirits. Familiar spirits are spirits that are familiar with you. So that's one of the way the devil and his agents work. So they say something, they just come and say, I don't see. I bet you know. You see, when you hear that one, and you know that it was only between you and your mom, that mean nobody was there. That means I will say, hey, Ojano, this man is right. So anything the person say again, what will you do? You believe. Tell somebody beside you, don't be desperate for encounters. All those drama, don't be desperate for it. Hebrews chapter 1. God, who spoke. Have you seen that in your Bible? Hebrews chapter 1. To our fathers in diverse ways. Has spoken. You get it? Has spoken in time past unto our fathers by the prophets in sundry times. Continue verse 2. And in this last day, spoken to us by how? Do you have the Son? Hello? Do you have the Son? Don't wait for encounters to know the communication of God. If it comes, good. But if it doesn't come, what we are promised in this New Testament is that now He's going to speak by His Son. Where is His Son? I can't hear you. Where is His Son? Where is His Son? Some people are still looking for the Son. Where is His Son? His Son is with you. But you know what He did? He said, I'm going to the Father, but I will not leave you alone. So I will send the Holy Spirit, Abi. He will come and represent me inside of you. So number 2 way is God moving your hearts. Inspirations. And that's what you should hold most. Inspiration. That's the one you should hold with. Inspiration. The inspiration of the Almighty. How do we discover our call? By inspiration. Now, the inspiration sometimes comes like an instruction. Hello? Let me give you an example. You know, I can talk to you in words. I can talk to you in songs. Is that not so? I can talk to you by body language. So inspiration can come in precise words. Precise places you can pick. Inspiration can come in little pictures in your heart. Imaginations. Is somebody with me? It can come as imagination. But what I was here talking about as inspiration is that it comes from inside. Something brewed from inside. The encounter comes from outside. Inspiration comes from inside. Something brews inside of you, and you begin to see yourself that I can do this thing. I want to do this thing. Sometimes it comes as a feeling. Do you get it? Inspiration, it uses your emotion. Because it tries to use everything inside of you. It can use your mind. It can use your feelings. And if somebody can say, I'm having passion for this thing. Anytime I hear this thing, I'm vexed. You see, it is if you are actually walking with God. In other words, if your walk with God is updated, up to date. Not that you walk with God in the past tense. If your walk with God is up to date, some of those passions are telling you something. Inspirations. How do you know your call? Inspiration. It just keeps brewing. It keeps brewing. It keeps brewing. It keeps brewing. Now, I need to sound the warning. Don't determine your calling basically by your talents. Quite a number of things about your calling, you will have to acquire skills for them. So if you live by talent, you will shortchange yourself. If you live by talent, you will shortchange. There are some things you need to acquire. Number 2, there are some evil talents you have. You don't know you have them. You need situations, pressure to bring them out of you. For instance, I knew I could write poem, poetry, and the likes. But I never knew I could do them. Is somebody with me? I never knew I could do them. Then they gave us an assignment. Junior Secondary School 1. English class. English was split into 2 then. PSS 1. There was literature part, there was the other parts. The one I never liked was the literature part. The only part I liked in it was reading novels. But I was not interested because all the novels they were recommending for us, I had read them since primary school. So the novels were not interesting to me. And then they wanted to give us an assignment for the term. Compose a poem about the Olympics. Submit on so day. And then I was quite a lazy student. I usually do my assignments on the day we have to submit. So about a day 2, I remember. So I ran to my brothers. I said, poem about Olympics. And they said, go and write. Help me now. They said they can't know what they don't want to write. They have to And then I think I didn't do well in the test. I already see what this grade is going to look like. That my saving grace has to come from this assignment. I look around, and the person is saying, it's a poem asking you to compose. So you cannot copy. You cannot copy. How are you going to get this thing? Then I sat down early in the morning. I was to submit that day. I've had reports from my classmates that are giving it to their parents, giving it to their uncles, they've composed it. Now people are already bragging in class. Long before submission days. See my poem. No idea. The only people I know that can help me, they said they will not help me. They said they don't even have an idea what to write. So I sat down that morning. And I put the paper in my front. And they told us the length of the poem. When they tell you the length of the poem, those postcards, they said long like this, long like this. I wrote like one. The Olympics. I cancel. I wrote again. I cancel. When I remember we are going to fail this course, this subject, because other things you messed up in other things. Quiz over 10, we got 0 in my group. This one, we got 0. Everything was just getting 0. The only way I can scale 50, for exam is just 40 marks. The only way I can scale 50 is to have something substantial here. But even if I get everything in the exam, I will say 40 over 100. The only way to scale is this one. So I start. After cancelling. Just stop cancelling. Just keep to me. Stop cancelling. Just keep writing. Leave your mistake as your mistake. Keep writing. And I started. Before I knew it, I had opened the first one. The thing was now flowing. By the time I got to how many pages, I said, no, they should ask us to write more. So I went back again. I got a fresh one. I wrote it. I came to school. My colleagues saw it. You know what they said? They said, you copied it from somewhere. I said, I did it myself. They said it's a lie. I submitted. When they returned our scripts, and they were giving people 6 over 10, 5 over 10, I was confident that when they called my own script, I was going to say at least 9. But I didn't know where that inspiration came from. I didn't get a mark. It was written boldly on it, not quite original. I said, wow, which mark is this? Not quite original. I went to Mrs. Siri, I did it. He said, no, you stop lying, confess. Where did you copy it from? She was not even saying, there are some that she was telling that somebody wrote it for them. I will give them 6, 5. That it was, you. But she looked at me and said, you didn't even, nobody wrote it for you. You copied it from somewhere. He said, which book, which literature book did you copy it from? And I was arguing. She said, no. I didn't get any mark. I was angry. One way or the other, I think that the vision of God, I think she came back. She did our group assignment, group quiz for us again. And my group got 10-10. So I was not able to, I didn't feel that year. But I was angry. Brother came back from the boarding house. Femi, and saw me and looked at it and said something about the way I'm talking. I said yes. So I told him. He said, the question is this. Did you copy it from somewhere? I said no. Did anybody write it for you? I said no. So why are you angry? I said, how can they be telling you it's not original? I didn't dare when I wrote it. He said, instead of being angry, you should be grateful for something. That you are doing something that is at the level of what they expect you to copy from somewhere. He said, work on this thing. There is something about this thing. I didn't do anything about it until GS3, 2 years after. At the classroom. To my friends to know that it is not fake. And the teacher saw it and said, not quite original. That day I said, I will not do original things again. Since the original will look like not original, let me go for the not original so that they will think it's original. But that was something that had been there. I never knew I had it. Is somebody with me? And yes, as we progress, I hear people I progress with, I do things, and people just wonder. It was Bende. They asked them to go and write a Yoruba, just Yoruba, class they had. It was 3 years my junior then. They asked them to go and write a Yoruba story. The guy got to school. What did he get? Not quite original. Something brought it out. Is somebody with me? Something has to bring it out. So when you live and it depends on talent alone, the point is, number one, there are some things that are not going to be by talent. You have to learn them. Number two, even the talent you have, you have not dug up to 50% of your talent out. You need to encounter pressure that will draw it out. That's why I said inspiration. So even when your heart is moving to something, don't say, me, I cannot do that thing. You won't imagine it if you don't have the ability for it. How does God work? God works in tremendous ways. But the minimum level of God works with us is our imagination. Ephesians chapter 3. Verse 20. Now to him who is able Is that in your Bible? To him who is able to do exceedingly. Can you see that? Abundantly. Above all we can ever ask. Are you in church? It's not everything you think about that you ask for. Another version use word or imagine. It's not everything you imagine that you utter as a word to God. But where God is going to work from, the minimum is what? Your imagination. So you can't have that imagination, and God said He will do beyond that. So if you can think about something, you just come, you are inspired to that way. That means God wants to do beyond that thing with your life. If you can be inspired towards something about my life can do this in my life, God wants to do beyond that thing in your life. That is the minimum. Because God is going to do beyond your imagination. So if you can imagine it, so if you suddenly imagine now that one day tech gurus in the world will have a meeting and I will be the lead speaker, that is your imagination. God is ready to do beyond that. He's ready to do beyond that. That's where you hear motivational speakers, they will tell them, if you can imagine it, you can achieve it. There are basic principles in life. If you can imagine it, if God begins to build it continuously inside your heart, your job is to nurture it. How do you nurture? Number one, write. Habakkuk chapter 2, from verse 2. He said, write it down, make it plain. Write it down, make it plain. You see, the problem we have is number one, we don't write. And so this thing slips out of our mind. We don't write. Write it down. If you don't like writing down in your imagination, you will lose a lot of them. One way to hold on to your thoughts is to write. And the word has become easier. You don't need a biro and a paper to write. You have these things in your hand. If you have it, raise it up. You have it. Have notepads backed up in the cloud. Have notepad. Back up where? Back up in the cloud. But if in case anything happen, you see, anything can happen. The thoughts God has given me cannot be lost. The other time somebody stole my device. They only stole the device. They didn't steal my thoughts inside the device. That same thing on another device. And I copied it and renamed it, and it appeared on this device again. You see, technology is for your advantage. With all technology we have, we should not lose thoughts. Because if I say you should write in book, there are some of you, the book you wrote it, you left it in your dad's house. You now went back after 5 years, there was something I wrote, you went to look for the book. They have cleared your room. Who cleared my room? We are expecting a visitor who has come to stay with us this morning. So we tried to make the room fine. So we saw some old books, we threw them in the garage. You go to the garage, rain has beaten everything. You know, you say, Daddy is sick. It's not a Wela son. You know, there are sometimes Holy Spirit just remind you that I've talked to you about these things 7 years ago. I mean, like that. It just occurred to you. You'll not be looking for that daughter. Hey, daughter, when you today West Tayo, can you say Baba today West today, can you say Philip West blessing. Can you say Wakakiri. You will check. You will now open and open and open. Sometimes you will spend the whole day. As I put to you before, you will be you will not know where it is again. But technology has come. All you need to do is to remember something about it and press search. Is that not so? It will bring everything close to that idea. It will bring them back. Right. After writing, number 2, he said make it plain. Don't just see, if you write to make it plain, what you have written, now meditate beyond your inspiration. Now add all the knowledge the word has provided to interpret it. Make it plain. One of the things I'm hearing is grants. So you go and do your own research. What is grant? You do Google. You do ChatGPT. You do your own research. Do you get it? One of the thoughts you have Angola. What are you to do? Go online, make a research, every kind of research about what are you looking about? You don't know. So you check their economy, you check their language, you just keep checking everything. That's making it plain. Making it plain. Unraveling the little things that God drops in your heart. Open them up. Make it plain. Break it down. And you're break it down to an extent that you can at least have one step you can start doing. The often time many of you are not taking steps because you said, that vision cannot be, it's not yet time. Why is it not yet time? This vision requires money. It's a lie. If you actually make it plain, you will discover at least one portion of it you can do now without money. You say, that vision before it happens, I have to get to Canada before it can start. No. If you make it plain, there is a portion that can be done in Nigeria. You don't have to be in Canada to impact Canadians. Is somebody hearing me? You don't have to be in Belgium. Where is Belgium, man? Okay. You don't have to be in Belgium before you impact Belgium. You have to make it plain. Make it plain. I'm talking briefly today about discovery. Is that not so? Make it plain. Break it down. One of the lessons God taught me several years ago, when I was waiting to do some things, He said, if you actually make it plain enough, you will realize that there is a portion you can do now. Number two, there is a portion that doesn't require the money you are looking for. He said, do those ones. What steps you take in the what God is showing you? Do those things you can do now with the resources available to you. Even those ones that require money and you don't have the money, if you meditate enough on it, you will realize that you have somebody who can do it for you free of charge. You have somebody. But you don't think to, because it's still clumsy. You still see the whole lumps. And that year, I can't forget, God told me, He gave me a Yoruba proverb. He said, if you pelebe, Latin moleje, lau. When you put moi, you know the normal moi, not the one in nylon, the one is made with leaves. You know, it's going to have one shape like this, one abnormal pyramid like this. Where do you start from? You start from the flat part, not the humongous one. That's how to start. They said just start. The more you do that, you soon realize that the other ones have become plain. There is always a portion you can do. So I told you inspiration. Number 3, by serving. How do you discover your calling? By serving. Keep serving. That's why when you don't serve, you are not only cheating the people you are not serving, you are cheating your future. Because your life will not be discovered. You serve. It is as you are serving, you will suddenly realize that you are getting better results in one thing than others. That tells you have a strength in it. It's a calling. You are sent to do it. You will suddenly realize that what others are struggling to achieve, you are achieving it with much ease. I mean, it tells you that there is a grace upon your life for that area. You will begin to notice. Then other people too begin to see it. Listen, quite a number of people never know they are called to be evangelists. People just ask and say, evangelist. You say evangelist here and bro. But listen, what people about are saying evangelist, but see, these people used to address you as an indicator. But people will only address you if you are functioning in their life. When you serve them, what the benefit people receive in your life will make them to address you with that thing. And as they begin to address you, begin to look at the common factor. HCF. Highest common factor. Begin to match everything together. It's something about it. But when you are not serving people, people will not call you fine names. They will be calling you lazy bone. Lazy bone. And then directly your colleagues will call you lazy bone. But when you are serving, people will begin to look at you. Hey! And only tankan. The allergy of Africa. You see, something is already, when somebody confirm you, you get to a new environment. Under 1 week, people are already saying it again. Hey, the allergy of Africa. You see, they are already telling you something you have not seen about yourself. There is a selling part to your life experience. You are good in sales. It's telling you there is something about sales. And if everybody kept, that means your sales about Africa. Stop thinking about Nigeria. But when you are not even serving us, do you get it? We can't even know. You are not with us. Service makes people to know you more. Service makes people to see you. People are not seeing me. People are not seeing you. Serve, people will see you. People who don't serve are by themselves, cover themselves up with veil. 3 inches thick veil, they have covered themselves with it. Nobody can see them. But when you serve, people will see you. People will see you. A lady married an influential person, very influential person in the Christian world. She was getting bothered. Nobody's seeing me. Nobody's approaching me. Pastors were getting bothered about her. Then the pastor's wife said, can you be waiting on me? She said, I can do it, ma. Not be waiting on me. And she was waiting on Mama. She kept waiting on Mama. Then one day they invited the guest minister. And to go and welcome the guest minister is Mama. And since Mama was going to welcome the guest minister, she followed Mama to go and welcome her. And as this man of God saw her, I've seen this person somewhere before. No. You don't see me before. This is where I worship. This is my church. This is where everything. No problem. So they sat the man of God in the pastor's office. Who is going to start the man of God to say, drink now? Is the lady waiting on Mama? As she knelt down and gave it, oh my God. Just so Mama, please, after the service, I would like to see this person waiting on you. If she was not serving, they won't see her. They won't see her. The man saw, and the man told him what they said. Is she single? When Mama had that one, Mama would say, waste time. Oh, she's single. You see, some of you, the spouse you are looking for will come by referral. But I will not refer. Listen, no good pastor will refer somebody who is not serving. What makes you top on the list of referral is I'm going to die. This guy is complaining. I don't know how God is doing it. All the men that come to me, they are unserious people. There is one serious brother in our church. He's serious in church. He's serious at work. He has. You will market that kind of person. I'm not saying he's the one, no, but probably if you see yourself, maybe you will know if he's one or it's not the one. Referral. Ask the person beside you, can we refer you? Some people cannot talk. Kev, you cannot answer. Can we refer you? And you will not be thinking, hey, hope this one will not disgrace us. You serve. You see, one of the things service does for your calling is not that it not only make you to discover yourself, people to discover you and what you can do. Do you get it? It fine-tunes you. It shapes and sharpens you. It is in the place of service you are rebuked and corrected. But when you are not even serving, how do we know what to rebuke and correct? Auntie Comfy, what are you saying this morning? I said, many of the things we see you do in church is a reflection of your personal life. So when you are being rebuked and being corrected in church, take it serious because it's actually a reflection of something going on in your personal life. That is where you handle your life. But when you are not even serving, we cannot rebuke. There is nothing to rebuke. So except that there is something that is terribly wrong with the pastor. So pastor will just see you and just be rebuking you for nothing. You come to church in the morning. You come to church as you are starting service. As you are closing, you go. You do not greet anybody. You do not do anything in the church. So what are you going to rebuke you about? As far as you are concerned, you are like an angel. You are perfect. The reason why many people don't want to serve is that they don't want their imperfection to be seen. So people are staying back. Hey, if I be join a unit now and I'm very effective, let me look for a unit that won't be meeting regularly. Because if I join that unit, they will soon know that, I get angry easily. They will soon know. See, so you are trying to hide it. Listen, stop hiding. Tell somebody, stop hiding. We are all here to be helped. Thank you, Ifeanyi. He's the only one who wants to be helped. Tell somebody, we are all here to be helped. So be free. Be yourself. I'm say, that is my own sickness in this hospital. Now that you know my own sickness, I need drugs and to tighten my own. At least, because when it has been diagnosed, you can be helped. When your own is not diagnosed, there is problem. So that's it. My own is better than yours. You can be helped. But we rebuke you in church and you are angry. We rebuke you in church and you are not joining back. Listen. The best place to help you is here in church. The household of God. The pillar of truth. What have I said to you today? You can discover by encounter. You can discover by service. You can discover by being pushed into it. Daniel discovered his grace for governance because he was pushed into it. He didn't choose it. Daniel did not choose his calling. He was pushed into his calling. If he was to have his way, he would remain a royal prince enjoying life. Eating, drinking, partying. He will never become a king, but he will remain a prince forever. But by slavery, his experience brought him into it. And then the king said, choose me noblemen, princes, Abi, and go and teach them. He was forced to go and learn. He didn't want to learn all the things he learned. He was forced to learn it. You see, there are some of you here that will be pushed into your calling. And you will fight it. I don't like that course. As a principal, they will suddenly ask you, upgrade though. By next year, anybody who doesn't have this thing should just know that his job is gone. Say, what is stress why you? You go and learn it by force. Never knowing that they are pushing you to your calling. Listen, people will push you to your calling. And that's the prayer I want you to pray continuously. Lord, whether I want to step in or don't want to step in, Lord, let them push me in. Some of you here have said it. I can never be a pastor. I enjoy just being a good church member. I will never be a pastor. You enjoy it. But we'll soon post it to go and pastor a church. I will not ask you to go with 100 people. We'll ask you to go with 5 people. And you come back and say, Pastor Rowland hates me. If it's the hatred that will put you into your calling, may we hate you more. You have to be pushed into what? Your calling. Daniel was pushed. And that is what often happens when you are sincere about fulfilling your calling. One way or the other, you'll be pushed in. People will keep pulling you in. You'll be dragged in. You'll be dragged in. Oh yeah, come and do this thing. So when people ask you to do things you think you cannot do, stop giving excuses. It can be a plan to bring you into what you can do that you don't know you can do. Stop giving excuses. Accept it with the whole of your heart. Try and tell them, I've not done it before. So if I fail, you are the one that asked me to come and do it. If I fail, don't fight it too much. But I would, since for you to have that confidence, I can do it. But I've not done it before.
We hope you've been greatly blessed. That which we have seen and heard, declare we unto you, that you also may have fellowship with us. And truly our fellowship is with the Father and with His Son, Jesus Christ.
Contact and follow us on all our social media handles
at MIV World House. Stay strong, vigorous, and victorious.